What's the deal? It's your boy J Mike, Mr. Athletic over everything. No hobbies, only obsessions. And today we're going to talk about part 2 of what's wrong with the trading card community, as well as the Pokemon community as well. Just for your information, I just got finished bench pressing 600 pounds, 622 pounds to be exact. Now, there should have been a video where I just bench pressed 622 pounds. So if you guys wanted to get stronger, you wanted to get bigger, I may be a person that you might want to listen to. You can see that I'm in the field, I'm in there. One of the best to ever do it. So if you wanted information like that, I could be the person that you come to for the information. But that's common sense, right? But what I've seen in the sport card Pokemon trading space, people aren't using their right minds. I've watched influencers manipulate their following. I've watched people with influence who would not have influence under no other circumstances. And I'm going to get into a few different situations and a few different things that I've seen. And it's, in a sense, is worrisome in a way, because the reason why the industry is going backwards right now, some of it just has to do with people not having common sense. You know, to be perfectly honest with you, if I own something, I'm going to speak highly of it. I'm going to talk it up. I'm going to want to convince myself, as well as you, that I made a good decision in making whatever purchase I did. Like right now, I'm heavily invested in the flood cards, you know, the 99-cent packs from GameStop. So if you ask me about them, I'm going to speak highly of them, tell you that you probably should go out and buy them. Why? Because I wouldn't spend $1,000 on those cards. And, you know, that's just something I personally feel. Now, with that being the case, if I then at some point realize that maybe I made a mistake and I dump all that stuff into the market and I'm still giving the same advice, then that would be a situation where I'm pumping and dumping. You know what I'm saying? So you have to be very careful in some of these situations. I'm going to touch on a few of them. The Great Curator. He is being accused of pumping and dumping. I think his situation is very unique in the sense that he is he wanted to justify a lot of his purchases by talking them up. And I believe in the course of him talking up his purchases, he wound up getting a following that he didn't expect to get, right? And once he got that following and the prices started to move and he started being able to utilize it in his own benefit, I believe he then did become a pumper and dumper. But I don't think it originally started out like that. I think originally he just wanted to verify and justify his purchases. But through the course of that, he wound up getting clout. You know what I'm saying? And once you get clout, it's kind of hard not to use it. You know, so I can't blame him in that situation. But if you guys listen to him, he tells a lot of information, right? He's also a cutthroat individual when it comes to business. You know, that whole tenderizing and all that kind of stuff. You know, he takes advantage of people. He takes advantage of Merle. You know, that's his friend. You know, and there are situations where Merle has gotten, you know, beat on deals or taken advantage of. It's because he's a businessman. He is a shark. You know, he really is. And I don't mean that in a bad way, because I do enjoy his content, but it's not fun and games with him. And he actually said something that stuck with me the other day. And he said that the Marvel cards, or now he's doing Star Wars, but he was saying it's about telling the story behind the card. And that's what people are buying. Now, what I will say is That part is bullshit. Talking up the story, you're building value in a card because you're telling the story. That means you're running game. Now, I do understand where you're coming from with that. You know, I have a thing where, you know, a legend never dies, because if you constantly, legend is the story. So if you're telling the story in the way that you're able to tell the story, it can sell the card. Now, I'm not sure if that big deal that you did of 16.5 it's going to hold the test of time, or if it's going to crash like the Marvel market did. But you did a very good job of selling that card and also propping yourself up. You almost made yourself come off like you did the hobby a favor by, you know, making this purchase. And I don't think it was, you know, you didn't save the universe with this sale. You made a bunch of money on the sale, and I think that you're a shrewd business person. But it does feel almost like you're an ego guy, which I am as well. But you're an ego guy, and that has put you in a position to where you're constantly having to defend yourself now because of some of your skill set. Your skill set is you're very good at selling what it is that you're trying to sell. But that's here nor there. But the fact that you bring up some of these topics leads you to being considered a pumper and dumper. I think it's good business. You know, if you're able to convey to the public that what you're doing is correct and other people want to follow you, that's cool. But if people start getting burned on it, you just have to deal with the repercussions of what comes with that. But there's also, you know, watching, you know, some of these other influencers where they go to card shows, they rob the people who are followers. You know, the people come up, want to take a picture, and, you know, they just want to do a deal with you. And these people literally rob themselves. You know, I watched a situation where it might have been Chris Sewell. You know, he bought a collection or something online the other day, and he valued this group of cards at like $180. That's how much he valued the cards at. But he only gave a percent. I think he gave half of that. So you might have given $80 of what he perceived that lot of cards to be. But the cards that he valued, there was probably $500-600 worth of cards. So it's kind of weird. And what I'm starting to realize is some people you cannot do business with. Like, so say for instance, if I saw someone like a Chris Sewell come up to my booth, or Card Collector 2 come up to my table, I would probably tell them I'm not selling to them. Not because I don't like them. I enjoy both of their content, but I know for sure I'm not the person to sell cards to them, because they're trying to turn around and sell the cards. I'm trying to sell my cards to the end buyer. And I think that's one of the things that as collectors, we have to understand, that you cannot deal with a dealer if you're not at a higher level than the person who's buying from you. If not, you're always going to wind up on the wrong side of things. I remember being a kid when, you know, you would go buy a pack of 1990 Leaf and you might get the Frank Thomas card, which was a $50 card at the time. And when you wanted to sell the card or trade the card, they used to give you 50% of Beckett, right? So you give you $25. But if you traded the card in, they might give you $30 to $35. And I'm like, damn, if I'm trading with them, why do they get the advantage on the trade as well? And you're seeing this in these videos where guys are trading. Like, if we're at a card show, you don't get the advantage of being a card shop owner at the show. We should be even. So it shouldn't be a situation where you're getting the advantage because we're trading. You know what I'm saying? So as people who are spending money need to be very careful. Your cards, for the most part, most of us collectors, our cards should be sold to the end person, not the dealer, not the influencer. You know, take your picture with them and move on. Don't try to do business with them, they're going to beat you, and then they're going to sell the card at all of their money. I watch is it Jabs? I think it's either Jabs, the brothers, whatever, and they sell and they do the auctions. And if you go on their auctions, they sell cards at ridiculous prices that where I'm on eBay, I have a bunch of 1988, 89, 87 cards. I have like hundreds, thousands of them, of different cards, you know. And you know, these cards sell for under $1 in most cases, but on his particular platform and his audience, those cards sell for $5. You know, like a Craig Biggio 89 score might sell for $4, when you can only get 30 cents for it on eBay. So you have to be careful with the influencers and how you work with them. Like there's some value buying from them, especially if they have a platform. I understand having a little premium, but we just have to be smarter in terms of who we listen to. So I brought up the thing about the bench press. It's like, if someone wanted to get bigger and stronger, you can ask me. I'm a proven commodity. There were too many of the influencers now who are just coming back into the hobby or community, and people started listening to them. If you look at, there's two guys. You have the comeback event, comeback collector, and the finance dad, right? I actually enjoy both their contents as well. But if you were following the comeback card collector, and he literally was just buying first edition or first year Prism base and selling it and getting it graded, there was not a lot to that. You know, you shouldn't have been listening to him unless you were early and you had a chance to make some good money with it. But it wasn't like they were vetted in the new hobby. They came in with their own ideas coming off their ass. You can't really do that. Now, the personal finance dad, the way he actually collects, I would not follow any advice he gives in terms of collectibles or any of that stuff, because he actually collects like a true collector. He buys the things he likes. Like he gets, Immaculate or Bo Jackson regular cards, or these weird autograph cards, or little things that only a true collector could truly enjoy. It's easy to just say, hey, buy rookie cards. He goes a little bit different, but that's why I like what he does. And don't get it twisted, I also like the comeback card collector for what he does, but I just think that there were other people that you should have been following that were in the market and who were actually doing business already. So you can't blame these guys or call them pumper and dumpers, even though that's what happened with a lot of these guys. They came in, gave out all this advice, and then they split. And there was also one other guy, I think his name was Quicks. He was a Pokemon guy. And he was all about the Pokemon. He wore a suit. He was doing all these, this is what you should invest in. I'm buying all this and I'm buying that. And he was all over the place. As soon as the market crashed, dude was out of there. I think he does video game stuff now. But it's like, if you're not a true collector, you have to realize that you were following people who were not true to what you were actually doing. Pay attention, follow your heart. You know what I'm saying? Like, look at it. Don't be influenced, totally. You can take tips from here and there and put it together and come up with one idea. But just to go out and do something because someone said so just doesn't make sense. Now, this is part 2, but the next one, part 3, kind of ties in with the first one, whereas I'm talking about who runs the hobby or who runs the community. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about, think about this question. In a high school, Does the guy walking around with glasses and a pocket protector run the school? Does he run the culture of the school? Is he at the pool table at lunchtime? Does he date the cheerleader? Is he scoring the touchdowns? No. So why in the hell are the pocket protectors running the card community? All right, guys. Until next time. Later.